So this is kind of a lateral thinking puzzle, and you may have seen it, and if you've seen it, type in the answer. That's quite okay because it's been around for a long time. I saw this first when I was in my first job, so more than 30 years ago. Lateral thinking puzzles were kind of big in the late 1990s, and they were going around, and in our office we used to just ask these puzzles to each other. So here's the one. I'll give it to you here, and then type in the chat if you know the answer. So a man and his son are in a car accident. The man's killed. The son's rushed to hospital for surgery. The surgeon takes one look at him and says, "I can't operate on him. This is my son." How is this possible? Chat away, please. Chat. And sure we'll get people who got the answer straight away, which is true. Lots of people have got it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the surgeon's a woman, the surgeon's his mother. Okay, so that's the correct answer, right? In fact, if you ask Gen Z that question now, they would pretty much get that answer straight away, even if they've never heard of it before. It's only we oldies who grew up with that kind of bias that surgeons have to be men kind of thing. In fact, if you ask Gen Z, they'll also say things like, it could be he's got two fathers because it's a gay relationship, or that he's an adopted son, and so on. They'll come up with lots of other answers because they have multiple ideas in their head when it comes to parenting. But okay, so what does this mean for AI? So if you ask ChatGPT this question, do you think it's going to give us the right answer? Well, the answer is yes, because ChatGPT has just been trained on all this data that's gathered from the internet and elsewhere, and this puzzle has been widely distributed online. So there'll be lots of chat rooms asking this question and giving the answer. So here's what ChatGPT says. So I pasted in exactly that same text that you just saw, and sure enough, it said the surgeon's the boy's mother, and it also gives some alternative answers as well. Good. Okay, so nothing surprising there. This is exactly what we'd expect. Here's another variation of that. This is somebody shared this on a Reddit post somewhere, and I tried this myself, so proof that this actually happens. So here's a different question. A child is in an accident. The doctor doesn't like the child. Why? Now, if you think about it, that's kind of a bizarre question, completely unrelated to the question that I asked earlier, right? So there could be multiple reasons for this. If we ask ChatGPT this question, will it give us the right answer? Well, yes, it does. Okay, so it sounds like a trick riddle with the keys in the wording. The only thing we're told, the doctor doesn't like the child, could be for a number of reasons, and then ChatGPT gives a number of possible reasons for this. Okay, fine. That's really good. Now, you may or may not know that ChatGPT, the latest version, which is version 5, has two versions. It has the standard one, which is the one that you can see and you'd get automatically if you didn't think any differently about it. But it's also got a thinking version. So the thinking version, I recommend that if you want more accurate answers in general, go for the thinking version because it does more reasoning rather than just pattern matching. So if you give it this same question, the child's in an accident, the doctor doesn't like the child, why? It thinks. And it thought for about 40 seconds when I asked it the question. And then it said, because the doctor is the child's mother. This riddle plays on the assumption that doctor means a man. Okay. So the more advanced version of ChatGPT got the answer wrong because it was tricked by doing the pattern matching and going back to the completely unrelated lateral thinking puzzle that it had thought about, that it had already knew about before. The simpler version of ChatGPT got it right. Why did it happen that way? Nobody knows. Okay, now, if you try it now, I tried this a couple of weeks ago. If you try it now, you might find that they fixed this and it now knows the correct answer to this. But it's one of those bizarre situations where using the more advanced version actually gives you the wrong answer, and using the simpler version gives you the right answer. I'm just sharing this now just to give you the warning that even if you use the advanced reasoning model, even if you use, there's deep research which goes even further, there's some of these AI tools have got labs which go even further. Even if you do all of those things, it doesn't mean that you're absolved of your responsibility from double checking and triple checking everything that you get.